All right, I'm back from my trip to New Orleans. It was a blast. I'm kind of glad the timing of this episode because there's a lot of lies out there. We know that, right? Just every industry, we hear stuff and we're like, what? What about stories? Okay. So there's an expert encouraging people not only not to post personal stuff on stories, but I think there's even people saying like, don't even post on stories. And here's the thing. There are no rules. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you right now, I would not have the business I have without Instagram stories. And on a weekend like I was having in New Orleans, all I shared was personal. I didn't share anything it was all behind the scenes, me and my cousin in New Orleans, her friends, where we were eating, where we were staying, what I was wearing. And let me just tell you, the DMs were popping. Now, obviously, as a personal brand, it might be a little different, right? If you own a restaurant, but still, we don't want perfectly curated stuff and stories. We want behind the scenes. So even if you are like a restaurant or a shop or a corporation, who are the employees? What are they eating? What are they ordering? What are they wearing? Right? Like if you're in a boutique, be like, hey, we just got a new arrival and even our employees are going gaga over it. So that's what stories are. They're supposed to be off the cuff, behind the scenes, authentic, raw, in the moment. Now, a lot of stories I share, I will record and share later in the day if I'm busy. But of course, like the actual content itself should feel very raw, authentic in the moment. With that said, if you hate stories and you're like, I don't want to share anything personal, okay, that's totally fine. But these gurus out there saying this stuff, it's just to get engagement and clicks. Just know that. And if it sounds like it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. None of that advice makes sense. So let me tell you my Instagram story strategy and why, like, just even over the weekend, it was just reaffirmed, right? So a couple other things first too that I want to talk about. There's a lot going on around about stories and how you should only share one a day. Now, I'm going to say this as clear as I can to avoid any confusion because I'm not saying they're wrong because they're not. It's a tactic. You want more views, do one story. But if you want more sales, do more stories. All the advice out there that you hear is based on a goal. If your goal is, I need to sell the heck out of this course, I need more views, do one story. But if your audience is already warm, 100 views, you could sell the crud out of something, right? My thing is, if you want more sales, you want more conversations, you want to bond, more stories, okay? But here's how this works. The reason the one story thing works is because, so if you only share one story, you get a huge boost in views. And naturally, as Instagram users, we tend to fall off after 2 to 3 stories. Not all of us, but some. But your warm audience who's like obsessed with your brand, wants to know more, is going to keep watching. The right people are going to stick around in your stories, okay? But if you need that big, or maybe your views just feel really low and you're like, what on earth is going on? Let them expire completely, meaning your Instagram story, the glowy ring around your face on your profile goes away. Like the stories are empty. And then that next story, post one, and include whatever it is that's really, really important. So again, say you do need to like sell the crap out of something, or you really have a big announcement. Maybe you've changed your handle. Maybe you're opening a new store, right? Something like that. It's strategic. Posting one story a day is not a good long-term strategy, in my opinion, because my business was built on stories. Like that's where I bond with you guys. That's where you guys let me know you listen to the podcast. It's where we yap. But if you're a brand that you're like, I actually don't have time to answer a lot of DMs, I'm not really here to, and that's fine, but you're not really here to like create a community of people that feel like they're close to you, that's fine. But again, the reason there's so much different advice is because the advice is for different people. If your goal is to really nurture your audience and bond with them and create a brand that like they think about you all the time, stories, more stories. But there are times where if I see my stories are really low, I will go dark. And that next story I post, I will make sure I will front load the information. What is it that I need my people to know today? And that's my first story. But this is my Instagram story strategy because I never post just one a day. And if I do, it would be because of this tactic, right? Where like, oh my gosh, you get a big surge in views, but that doesn't mean you're going to sell more or get more. It's right. Because what happens from that story is going to be based on the quality of the story itself. Okay. So you want to sell major on a story. This is your strategy. Let them go dark. That first story, you are going to do this. It's going to be either a picture or a short video, and you're going to give a little context of it. Let's say you do, I remember someone even asked me about this on Instagram, so I'll say this. You do guided tours in your city. Maybe it's like ghost tours. And maybe the video is of people walking and you giving the tour, right? A little snippet on top just to kind of say what it is. Like, had a great time with these families that visited, da, 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 da. In it, you're also going to include a screenshot of a happy testimonial or a happy DM or whatever it is. Or if you don't have that yet, again, you just use that text to talk about what's going on in the video or the photo. Then you're going to add the link sticker. And in the link sticker, you're going to customize it. And you're going to make that call to action very fun. So after you do your URL, you can customize the link sticker to say something like, book your tour today, shop now, or, get it before it's gone, 50% off for 72 hours, whatever it is, right? Make it fun. Or just, oh my gosh, I need this. Oh my gosh, where has this been all my life? Make it fun. And so that's your story. And that is going to convert, especially if it's something not crazy expensive. This is what I always tell people, right? If I throw out like a $5,000 coaching program on Instagram stories, it's probably not going to convert as much as a free guide podcast, $37 course, right? It's just, we need a little more time typically to invest in something that's high ticket. So really think about just sales in general, how you sell, what verbiage you've used in the past that has sold, say it on screen with a picture of the product or video of the service, and put your link sticker. And then if you think they're going to need a little more information, that second story will then have maybe the bells and whistles. Because if the next question from them is, well, what's included? The first one, we paint the picture of the feeling, the vibe, what the package will look like when it arrives, what the meal is they're going to eat. That's that first story, along with the link sticker, little context, and a screenshot of a happy DM if you can squeeze that in. That's always a good idea, right? Social proof. And then that next story will have a little bit more. Maybe it's like, oh, and by the way, here are our hours. Oh, and by the way, here's another testimonial. Or maybe it's just you talking about why you created the product, the service, etc. And then that third story, that's where you're going to hit them with something a little more light and fun and personal, because that's what stories are. So that is if you're trying to, you are in launch mode, that's what you're going to do. At least 2 stories about what it is, or 3. Keep going till you think you drove it home, you sold your thing. And then always at the end of any of these, put something fun and personal. Maybe it's a book you just found that you love, a podcast you're listening to, your Orange Theory workout, right? We love that stuff because what happened in New Orleans was crazy. It just, every time I do it, every time I go away, go do something, people are like, can't wait to see where you're going. Can't wait to see what you're doing. And the DMs go nuts. I have 11,000 views on the donut I had, right? It gives us a chance to bond. And then I'm telling the story about how my dad's family's from Louisiana. So we have deep roots here and da-da-da-da. And it just started all these amazing conversations. Okay. And people are like, oh my God, did you do this? Oh my gosh, did you do that? It's just fun. Talked about my fear of flying, right? People are checking on me. It's like, you guys, stories are magical. It's where we really bond with you. Okay. So if you're trying to sell and you want more views and I would do at least those 3 that I just said. End up with something personal so they can bond with you. Maybe they won't buy the bracelet or the plant or whatever it is you're selling, but that third video, that third story where you're inviting them in, talking about your kava order might spark a conversation. And then tomorrow they might be like, you know what? I'm still thinking about that bracelet. I'm going to go buy it. Y'all. But my everyday story strategy is this. Ready? First story of the day, I just greet. In the morning, it's either my cup of coffee, my view, and I'll just say good morning. I know a lot of coaches will be like, don't say good morning. I say it. I go, happy Monday. Good morning. How's your day going? And I'll usually include a poll. I use some sort of sticker to invite them in, because that first story of the day, you really want to be like, hey, come in my world. Let's go. I used to do a thing called, it was crush the day list. Every day I'd start with a crush the day list and list out my day, and people loved it. And in that day, I would say, one-on-one consulting call, sending out a hashtag vault. People would be like, what's a hashtag vault? What's a coaching call? Where do I sign up? Right. And then at the end, it'd be like folding laundry until I pass out. Right. Like stuff like that. And so to also invite conversations like, oh, I hate laundry too. So basic, so mundane. So powerful. Then that second story, after I greet them and say what I'm up to and what my day is looking like, I will then share something. Either here's a podcast link, here's a post I did, something to drive engagement or sales. So if it's my post, I'll share my reel and say, like today, literally my stories right now, I'll tell you, it's my New Orleans donut that got 11,000 views. Okay. If you're watching on YouTube, there it is. Second, my story this morning, my coffee pouring, and a little poll saying, how's your Monday going? One says need more coffee. The other says crushing it already. I said back to New Orleans, back to our regularly scheduled programming. And it's my coffee. So there I am greeting my morning. I'm back. Here's what I'm up to. Second story is my reel of the day and saying, hey guys, go check it out, share it, love on it, right? Like whatever. And then the rest of my content, I'll probably do one to drive sales to the Reels Lab or podcast episode. And then it will be the rest of my day. Here's my daughter and I doing this. Here's da-da-da. You guys, it's that perfect mix of personal and business. And anyone telling you not to post personal, I don't know. Maybe they've lost their mind. I don't know. The personal stuff. And when I say personal, it's my oat milk creamer. Do you know how many people, when I started drinking oat milk lattes back in 2018, and that's when I really started showing up regularly on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I would get DMs all the time about, oh, I tried oat milk latte, Shannon, da 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 da. You guys, I had maybe 1,000 followers with that. I mean, that's what stories are. They are for us to be invited in your world, get to know you, and open up conversations that we might not be comfortable. We might not feel knowledgeable enough in your world when you do a post. giving advice or giving whatever, we'd be like, oh, we might not know what to say. But in stories, when you're sharing what you just bought for your dog, like that's going to spark a conversation. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, so every other day of the week, I start with something with invite them in, greet them. Hello, here's what I'm doing. Something to drive some sort of engagement. And then I just kind of go from there. And again, like I said, if I am trying to sell that day, that second story will be behind the scenes talking about my program, my offer, whatever it is, with a happy DM screenshot and a link, and it converts every single time like crazy. And then it's just my personal fun stuff. A few months back when we went to Boston, my most engaged story, that entire month was a selfie of me and my husband at dinner. So share the personal stuff. We want to get to know you. Use stories to sell, use stories to bond, and use stories just to share who you are and what you love and what you do. I know what stories have done for me. To even say that I make 7 figures is wild. And without stories, that would not have happened. So there you go. You want more views, less stories. You want more sales, more bonding, more stories. It all comes down to your goal. And some days you can share a lot. Some days you can share one. There are no rules. I love you, friend. Mwah.